Good day, everyone. This is David Topper. David Speaks. Today, I'll be talking about free speech and its suppression in America. We've enjoyed free speech in America for so many decades and centuries, as enshrined in the Constitution by our forefathers. Free speech, as we all know, is in the First Amendment, and it reads thus: Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of people peacefully to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. And as you can see, or abridging the freedom of speech. So, free speech is something that is my right, it is your right. It is the right of every citizen of the United States of America. It is the right of everyone that resides in the United States of America. So, there's a lot that has been happening with regard to free speech. There's a lot that has been happening about the suppression of free speech. But of recent, a lot of us are more informed. It has become a public knowledge about the suppression of free speech. Now, this has been going on for as long as possible, but it is not to this height, and it is not to this magnitude. As we all know, as we are aware, free speech is being endangered at the moment. And this is our liberty, this is our freedom that in the broader light is about to be taken away from us by the same people that are supposed to serve us, by the same people that we voted into office to provide and protect our rights in the Constitution, by the same people that we voted into office to provide our basic amenities and make life easier for us. But I guess we have a twist of tone. I guess we have a twist of what they should be doing and what we should be expecting of them. So, as we all know, free speech is being endangered. It is your right to have an opinion. It is my right to have an opinion. It is at the discussion table, when I speak about my opinion, you speak about your opinion, we can have a common understanding. It is that common understanding that will bring us together and we will forge ahead and provide a solution to anything and prefer solution to any problem. But if our opinion, if our species, if our idea are being suppressed, if our question in response to action taken by people in power are being suppressed, as a society, we're not going to move forward. So free speech is being endangered. It is your right to speak about this. Either you're Democrat or you're Republican, you're independent. Either you don't take part in partisan politics, or you don't participate in politics, or you just don't vote. Because I know there are some Americans that don't vote for reason being knows to them, no to them. This is not about politics. This is now about your right. Though there's a lot of politics involved with the suppression of the free speech. With regard to the files that was being released on Twitter recently by Elon Musk, you will see a pattern there. There's a request from the Republican Party and from the Democratic Party on the suppression of free speech. But the request of the Democrat Party is so much that it's subdue and is about to suppress. I'm even lost for word here because I just went through the files. I just went through all the posts and everything with regard to the suppression of the Otter Biden story on Twitter, and I'm wondering, Twitter, that's just one platform that will have a report of the suppression of free speech. What about Google? What is happening there? What about Facebook? What is happening there? What about Instagram? What is happening there? So imagine if the Democratic Party or the left wing of the country is after suppressing your speech, is after suppressing your idea, is after suppressing your questions, is after suppressing your opinion. So they only want one narrative to be put forward. And that narrative is what they want you to think, is what they want you to hear, and that is what you will process. And that will be your response in everything you do. That will be the action in what you do. That will be the output, because you only have one way to think and only one source of info. You can view and listen to other ideas. You're unable to form your objective opinion. But what we have right now, the White House press secretary said when she was asked questions with regard to the suppression of Hunter Biden's story, she said, "Oh, that's a distraction. That's old news." But the left wing never acknowledged that the Hunter Biden story was accurate and true in the first place when it first came into limelight a few years ago. They did not acknowledge that, oh, this is true. They said it was a conspiracy theory. They say it was another thing from Russia. They threw a lot of narrative into it, and why they were suppressing that story behind the doors. Why they were making sure you can share that story on Twitter. Why they were making sure you can view it on Google. When you do a Google search, you give it so many narrative of why the story should not even be looked into. So our response right now by the White House press secretary is a distraction and old news. That is just a narrative for you not to pay attention to what is happening behind the scene. But thank God for this man, Elon Musk. He said he's going to release more detail with regard to the suppression. We have a right to free speech. If you want to sit, either you're a Democrat and your right is taken away from you because you have a loyalty to a party, I hope it's not too sad, it's not too bad when you come to reality that even you will not be able to speak or hear your opinion when you're quiet at today. So it is time for us to speak. Elon Musk is doing a great job. He can decide not to do that. Yes, he owns Twitter, but he can decide not to do that. He has access to the most accurate information anywhere from the world if he chooses to know about anything. But he chooses to do something for every one of us to make sure free speech is not endangered, to make sure free speech is an access, and our rights as entrusted in the Constitution is given and not taken away from every citizen of the United States of America. As we all know, Elon Musk is the richest publicized man on earth. I say richest publicized man because there are other people that are richer than Elon Musk. Do your research about that, you will know that yourself. But what he's doing is impressive. What he's doing is bringing to limelight what is being done behind the closed door. Even some of the files that were released, it goes down to the request by the Democratic, the governorship candidate of the Democratic Party in Arizona. She sent a request for suppression and for the removal of someone's tweet and for someone to be suppressed on Twitter because they don't agree with the opinion, because they don't agree with the story that is being put out. Why don't you take up a debate with that person? Why don't you explain better to that person? Why don't you provide a better response and let the person objectively or agree with you or disagree with you? Why is there a strong move by the left wing to control the narrative, to control what you hear, to suppress your access to certain information? Why? That is outrightly wrong. That should not be happening in the United States of America because the US have a lot of influence on a lot of things on the global stage. If that is done and is not addressed here in the US, its outreach to other countries in the world will be very fast. So I believe we should all stand up for that and make sure we don't turn the other side. And I know some of my friends are more not interested in it. I know some of you that are my viewer are less interested in it, and some of the response while speaking to some people is that, well, it doesn't affect them. What does it have to do with them? It does affect you. It does affect you. By the time you get too close to you, you won't be able to speak then because you were never speaking. So let us join Elon Musk. I'm praying that God protects you, Elon Musk. Any forces of darkness will never have power over you. Your life will not be cut short, Elon Musk. Continue to do what you do. I don't agree with you on everything you do, but we have to speak and appreciate when something is done right. And when something you don't agree with come into the public space, it's better you seek different view, think about it before you speak about it. So God bless the United States of America. God bless you, Elon Musk, for what you're doing. Let us begin to speak up. Let us use the platform. Let us think objectively. Let us find out info before we post anything on Twitter or any of our social media platform. And let us engage in discussion with our friends, Republicans, Democrats, independent, engage in discussion. Hear what they have to say, question what they have to say, also speak about what you believe in. That way we can come to a common agreement. Even if we don't come to an agreement, at least you have an understanding of what they're thinking about. You have an understanding of your view about certain things. That is the way to move the country forward. That is the way to move the country forward. Thank you for watching. I'll be back in few days for some other story.